Hey everyone, hope everybody is doing well. I'm just trying to get some people on board. Hope everybody's having a great long Memorial Day weekend and hope everybody's doing well. Let's just try to get some people on board. All right, well today I wanted to talk about the growing threat of social media censorship and how we really don't need social media to basically bring our ideas across, bring our movement, our voice, our strategies across. Now, a lot of people use social media because they want to, bring an idea, they want to debunk some people. But we're noticing that increasingly that not only our voices are being censored, but the algorithms are not going in our favor. And by the way, censorship can happen among people from variety aspects of the political spectrum. At first I started with Julian Assange back in 2012. You have to remember that increasingly people back then were voicing against the corruption of the corporations and Wall Street. As a result of the Occupy movement, there was this bill called SOPA that wanted to get across. And over time, the voices began to grow. And we started to notice around 2014, for an example, particularly in Facebook, that what really was a platform that was supposed to show people exposing their photos, people chit-chatting, messaging each other, their close friends, especially in high school, really became a platform, a tool to spread information, gather evidence, mobilize, organize, bring protests, and so forth, expose these corrupt politicians. And of course, social media has really helped, for an example, in Nevada, expose the corrupt establishment folks, particularly in the Republican Party. And that's why a lot of them are no longer in power and they can't even win elections anymore. But bottom line is that I think that we don't really need the Facebooks, the YouTubes of the world to get our ideas across. Now, I remember back in 2014 and 15, a lot of people were exposing the whole Great Replacement, the mass immigration, the so-called white decline that's not only happening in America, but Canada, Australia, and much of Europe. And that really opened the minds of so many individuals. And one of the results of that is not only created a massive level of awareness, but it also had an effect on elections. So a lot of people on social media were obviously surprised. They thought that it was going to be something that people could use the platforms to carry the establishment elite's agenda, but they find out that it didn't work. And that's why a lot of people in power are now even admitting that it probably was better that the internet in the first place should have never actually been invented. But I tell a lot of people, and I think to myself, well, do we really need social media to carry on our ideas? Absolutely not. I don't think we really need social media. As a matter of fact, what I think we really need to do is find other means to express our ideas, to express our concerns, to express our strategies, to express our ideas. You don't need the Facebooks, you don't need the YouTubes of the world to do this. Now, a lot of people say, well, there's BitChute, there's Gab, there is a variety of different types of avenues that we can choose from. But here's the problem. People are so concentrated in the fact that it has to be done electronically. And it doesn't have to be. If you look back in time where we didn't have the level of telecommunications, we didn't have the level of access of all the sharing and everything, what did we used to do? Now remember, this isn't just censorship happening among right-wingers. This is happening among many progressives like Jimmy Dore, Secular Talk, Chris Hedges, who's forming a new third political party, And of course, we know the establishment Democrats increasingly are doing what they can so third parties don't form and they don't strip their power away. And this is one of the reasons why they're pushing mass immigration, open borders, because they know more and more people are waking up, realizing what sellouts they are, and they need to find new voters to basically pump their agenda. And remember, censorship is not just politics. It could just be exposing the changes of men and women in the last several decades. They don't like that. They like how women have been empowered or an increasing rate of single moms. Censorship could be basically exposing the truth about what's going to happen in the financial markets, because they don't want certain people to succeed. They want the people on top to have all the wealth and all the power. They want the massive inequality. Censorship could be about the ideas I talk about on architecture and urban planning. They don't want these new ideas. Do you think all these problems exist because it's just a bunch of dumb idiots that don't know what they're doing? Think about it. Censorship can happen in every avenue. And the point I want to make is that there are many ways that you can get your ideas across. Start by, first of all, talking to your neighbors, knocking on doors, passing flyers. You can build a lot of these small political signs and install them on landscaped areas that are common in your neighborhood. You can just say, well, for an example, if you're tired of demographic change, say keep Summerlin majority white. Very simple. The word is going to get out there, and much of the outreach can be spread like wildfire by the media. It's very simple. You can put banners. You've seen my videos where I put banners in the Las Vegas area. You can put it in areas, try to find areas where they won't take them down, and this way you can get the message across. You can even put large signs, like people have them on political campaigns. You can make sure that your sign in your neighborhood exposes a certain issue, demands a certain cause. You can do what you can to get your message across. And even if they vandalize it, it shows that you are getting the message across. You can do billboards. Billboards have a lot of effect. They can get the message out very, very clearly. Now, obviously, a lot of these billboards are privately owned, but I don't think that all the billboards are going to be as strict enough that you can get your message across. There have been many controversial messages that have been posted on billboards. Get a megaphone, go around your neighborhood, shout, demand, get a message across. You see me, I've been to downtown, I've been using my megaphone, and I don't care if somebody beats the hell out of me. Who cares? It proves their weakness. There's a lot of cops nearby, they'll protect you. You can protect yourself. At least you can get a pepper spray or something. And here's another way that you can actually get your message across. This is probably going to be more effective. You know how a lot of people like fly a plane around a certain area and they have a message that is literally with all the wires attached to the back of the plane? You can do that. You can say something like, white lives matter. Diversity means anti-white. Keep the white majority. You can say things like that to make sure that you can get your message across. And because it's literally on the air, how the hell are they going to censor it? And if they are opposed to it, how are they going to track you and beat the hell out of you? Is it going to be illegal for me to have these controversial messages? I can even put that message above around a stadium when there's a game that's playing, when people are getting out. These are just excellent ways you can get the message across, that we can expose this anti-white agenda. You don't need these pieces of crap platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube to get your message across. As a matter of fact, one of the reasons why people don't do that is because they're too lazy, they don't have the balls, they're not brave enough. And another aspect is because they require a lot of money. I mean, just to click is not that difficult in terms of physical work, but how much money do you need to do all the social media awareness? Not that much. To get signs, to get billboards, to make banners, to do all that, it costs a lot of money. And people like myself, they've been doing pretty well. They've been doing decent on the stock market. And they realize that, well, There are other means that you can do with the money that you have and given the censorship to basically address and advance your cause, to advance your message, to advance your agenda. We now have politicians like Selena Torres, who's constantly advancing for illegal aliens. She brags about her parents coming here illegally. This woman needs to be exposed. She needs to be embarrassed. And social media, they may close our remarks, so we have to do this in public spaces. This is an opportunity for us to get the message across. Before, who knows, they'll probably restrict that too. But even if they try, it goes against our First Amendment rights because it's public spaces. There's not much they can do. Not to mention that if they do, it'll further expose who they are. It'll backfire. Just like the whole, pandemic thing, just like the whole election fraud when they're suppressing us, that further gives us thinking that, well, they're more right than ever. And just like they do that to the whole, pro-white agendas that they're censoring them, and that encourages more and more people to see, hey, why are they censoring them? Let's see what they have. That, in fact, encouraged me to wake up to see what's going on. Then again, there are other means that you can get your message across. Go out there. Stop relying on clicks and comments. Get a megaphone. Drive around your neighborhood. Talk about saving white people. Talk about this anti-white agenda. Talk about what we need to do. Keep bringing the message across. Because the more you do this, the more it will show that people are willing to fight back, the people expressing their concern, and there's not much that they can do to pull that back. Go out there and fly and put a message behind the plane. Try to put billboards. Try to put signs. I know it costs a lot of money, but if you can, save some money. Maybe you can find an investment opportunity in the stock market. Maybe other assets like crypto, although I don't trust them that much. You can save up because money is power. Remember that. The reason why we have these problems is because, again, the powers that be, they have a lot of money and power. They want to suppress us. This shows you that this whole SJW woke anti-white agenda is coming from the people on the top. But people think that white men are the problem because they're people on the top, like Jim Murren and Bezos and Gates. But they fail to realize that those people on the top, they're not being pushed down by the SJW wokeness. It's people like us that are suffering. So you need to find other means to get the message across. Don't rely on these social justice, social media pieces of crap. Forget them. We still have our voice. We still have our health. We still don't live in utter chaos. We still have the time. The future is bright. All right, everybody, you let me know what you think. Thank you so much. Spread this video. Have fun.